Hi fellow YouTubers, this is Amber. If you guys do not know who I am, I'm a plus size model, YouTuber, and entrepreneur. Today I'm going to tell you guys all the important things you need to know before coming to Tulum. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be holding my tripod because I have a gorilla grip. So let me tell you guys the very first thing that I found out when I came to Tulum, which I am still in Tulum. So this is the Maca Hotel. I'm here with a few other girls. Okay, so my very first tip is to get a rental car. I think it's much easier to get around instead of like biking or calling for taxis. Is a lot cheaper as well, because taxis, if you're in a full group, you're gonna be paying like $15 each way every time you go somewhere locally. So it's about $30 a car. We're a 6-person group, so it doesn't make any sense to continue to pay that kind of money. So I would say get a rental car because it's much easier to get around. Some areas it's a lot of traffic, but if you're just trying to get around Tulum, then it's not that bad. However, there is very crazy driving around here, almost like LA driving times 10. So you got to be careful about that. But I would suggest, we all said that we would get a rental car next time. So that was my tip, and that's just a personal option. I know a lot of people said that biking is better for them, but for our group, I think it's better to get a rental car. So the second tip is buy as many pesos as you can because we kept running out of pesos, and we still out of pesos right now. So we have to use our cash or go to ATMs. We're here for 5 days and 4 nights. And so far, I went through 3,065 pesos, which is $200. And you need way more than that because you're doing so many things, you know, just going around eating, paying for taxis. So you definitely need your pesos. You really don't want to use your card out here. So just try to bring American money or bring pesos. And know exactly what peso is what. Like, the $20 peso is actually like $1 out here, so you need to know the conversion or go to like a conversion thing so that you'll know exactly what you're getting in your, exactly what you're spending. So you want to use your conversion. So number 3, we all agreed to this as well. Don't buy the tours online. I know that you guys probably want to reserve and make sure you can do these activities, but when you come out here in Tulum, you definitely don't need to reserve anything because there's so many people trying to get you to go on tours. So we reserved a tour for like $80 twice, and it was a mess because if they don't understand what you're saying, and if you don't book things in a certain way, they'll cancel your trip and then try to refund your money back. That's a good thing about this, that they will refund your money back, but at the same time, it's much cheaper if you just go to the tourist area. And I'm gonna show you guys a clip of where we were. If you could just go to that tourist area, there's so many people giving you trips for low amounts, like $35 US, instead of buying online for like $80 and $100 a person. ATVs, zip lining, C notes, like all of that is in the tourist area, which is like right in Tulum. Like for us, it's about 10 to 15 minutes away. Go down there, you can get any tour you want. The Mayan ruins is right here. The beach is right here, so it's very close. And I'm in the Maca Hotel, so it's very close to where you can do a lot of the touristy stuff. And if you do want to still book online, go to this website because they're the most reputable website in this area and just in general. So you want to go to this website. I wouldn't really mess with any other website. It's called Viters, and you want to go to that website more than any other website because they're just more reputable than anybody else. Number 4, okay, so I would say always bring either a Spanish translator or a Spanish speaking person because that's very important. We have 5 non-Spanish speakers in our group, and we have 1 Spanish speaker, and she has gotten us through so much through this trip. If you don't have a Spanish speaker in your group, you definitely need a translator because it's really hard to get around when you don't know Spanish or you don't have a translator because they don't understand you and you don't understand them. A lot of people out here do not speak English. You'll find a few people that are bilingual, so you gotta make sure that you're prepared for that because there's a lot of things you're not gonna understand, and even if they do speak English, sometimes they still don't get what you say. Okay, number 5, a lot of people, you see a lot of people around dressing up, doing stuff on Instagram in Tulum, right? But the reality is you really can't dress and be dressy as much as you think you can, because you're walking or you bicycling or you're doing something. It's a lot of tourist stuff here. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be in sneakers and non-dress clothes unless you're going to dinner. So the best way to dress here is kind of like street clothes until you go to dinner. The street clothes is because a lot of the pavements are broken up, so if you have sandals or heels, that's not gonna be okay to walk around in those heels and sandals. And a lot of the stuff is like miles away. So you do not wanna have like these dressy clothes and then you have to bike somewhere, and because that's what I made a mistake. I have a lot of dressy clothes, but I do have like 1 pair of sneakers. And yeah, I wish that I would have got more like sneakers and jeans and like shorts and stuff like that, because it would make more sense out here, especially doing tourist stuff. Number 6, okay, so you guys have to know that there is not a lot of Wi-Fi out here, especially if you have an iPhone. It's not a lot of Wi-Fi. It's only 2 people out of our group, which is me and my other friend, that only gets Wi-Fi. A lot of the Wi-Fi GPS doesn't work out here for whatever reason. The Wi-Fi doesn't work. So you're gonna constantly be disconnected. You're gonna constantly, so if you split apart, it's gonna be a bad idea like to try to contact one of your friends, because it's not gonna work all the time. It comes on when it comes on. My phone was just fine. I have an Android and it's a Metro PCS phone. I had no problems. Here and there I did, but for the most part, I could still use my phone, send pictures, get online. You wanna make sure you tell your phone company that you're gonna be out of the country so that you won't have any problems or issues with your service, or high rates that comes with making outside calls as well. So number 7, this is something that you guys need to know as well. Like there's this area where all the transportation tourist drop-offs is. A lot of them tell you that the activities are gonna be an hour away, so you need to have transportation to go this hour away. But it's not exactly true. In this area, everything is right in this area. The Mayan ruins, the beach, everything. So all the little tourist areas, the little trinkets that you can bring back home, things like that. If you're in Tulum and it's right there and you don't have to travel a whole hour or so somewhere else, you want to stay right in that area so that you can, you know, get all your trinkets and things like that. Everything you need to do is right in that area. Unless you want to go to a monumental place like Raw Love and things like that, those are of course somewhere else. But if you want to do all the tourist stuff, it's in one area. And you can just really have a good time in that one area if you don't want to travel like a whole hour somewhere, 30 minutes anywhere. So number 8, airport. Now the airport that we flew out of was Villaris, I think, Villaris. That was a terrible airport. Everybody was losing their flights, so you have to make sure you're there 3 hours early. We were crossing from San Diego to Tijuana, and it was a terrible experience because it took so long to get through everything. It took almost 3 hours. We missed our flight, and then they wanted us to pay more money for another flight. But since we had a Spanish speaker, she negotiated our flights again, and we had to wait almost overnight for the next flight. So you gotta be careful about how you fly into certain airports, especially using Volaris. I think it's Volaris. It's like the Spirit, a Spanish Spirit, I think. Really hard to fly out of that airport. So if you guys do not know how to fly into Mexico, you definitely wanna give yourself a lot of time, like 3 hours. Don't get there an hour before. Get there really early because you don't know what you're gonna be facing, especially if you don't speak Spanish, because a lot of people don't speak English in those airports. So you don't want to be stuck. So get there early, make sure you have your translator on or a translator with you, and you'll be fine. Number 9, so there is a lot of stray animals here, like stray dogs, stray cats, and if you're not an animal person, or if you're afraid of a pack of dogs, because it kind of looks like a pack of dogs will run right up to you because they're used to being fed. If you're scared of stuff like that and you're on foot or you're walking or you're on a bike, Tulum might not be for you because there's a lot of pack of stray dogs or just one stray dog, and they're pretty big. It's not like puppies. There's cats, kind of like in some of the outside restaurants. So you gotta be aware of that. There's a lot of iguanas. So if you're not a big animal person, and especially a dog lover, I don't know if you're gonna like this place at all, but luckily I'm a dog lover, and the dogs that's been around us has been very friendly. They haven't been aggressive. They're just like neighborhood dogs, but they are stray dogs. So I don't know really what to tell you guys if you guys don't like animals, because there's a lot of them here, so just note that. Okay, so number 10, try to get resorts that already come with transportation, like either a transportation van or transportation bicycles. It's always good to have a resort that has connected transportation out here, because things are kind of spread out, and it's best just to have something. Here in Amaka, they have bicycles that you can rent out up until 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 p.m. and you have about 6 that you can rent out. So 6 of us, if we wanted to rent them out, we can rent them out and bike in local areas, which is pretty fast way to like go to a convenience store or go get something to eat and lock them up and bring them back. So you want to make sure your resort or whatever has some type of transportation, whether it's bikes or a car or a van or whatever, shuttle. Number 11, so a lot of the myths that you see on Instagram, it's very, very beautiful out here in Tulum, but you have to understand this is not a party area. So if you come out in Tulum, it's more of like a chill area. It gives you a lot of spa vibes and just tourist and spa vibes. If you want to turn up, you need to go to either Cancun or Del Playa. I think it's called Del Playa Carmen. You need to go there. So this is not the turn up city. This is a city that is just really, really pretty and very photo op, Instagram, that kind of thing. But okay, so number, I don't know what this is, but whatever number it is, but it's very humid here, very hot, very humid. So you gotta be prepared for that. It is the jungle. Right now it's actually raining and it's like 90 degrees outside, literally. So that's what it looks like. So be expecting rain sometimes and still being hot. I don't know if it's supposed to be sunny around this time or if this is normal for it to rain around this time, but definitely know that it's hella humid, and sometimes it kind of feels hard to breathe outside. Like when you first come out here and it's super hot, it kind of felt hard for me to breathe. So that's another thing, it's very humid out here. Number 14, I believe it's 14, but there's a lot of people trying to hustle you on the street. It's almost like downtown LA, but times 10. So anywhere you go, somebody's gonna try to get you to buy things and trying to sell you things every step of the way. Everywhere you go, downtown, to the tourist area, to the convenience stores, to just walking down the street, they're gonna either try to sell you a taxi, sell you something at the store. It's just hustling everywhere. Just almost like LA, but it's just times 10. So just, it's not a bad thing, but it's just something that I felt like I should tell you guys. So that is a normal thing, so don't be irritated about that. Number 15, let's call it 15. So number 15 is tipping people is expected out here. So you gotta know that when you come out here, they are expected to be tipped, and they're gonna do a lot of stuff to do things for tips. In America, like, we can do a lot of stuff, and if we want to tip, it's like whatever, but it's kind of like you need to tip out here because it's just the way of life out here. You should tip when you come out here, especially when they're trying to do so much like taking your luggage, do all that. So have some extra pesos so that you can tip the workers here, because it's just courteous, especially when you're on vacation and they're doing everything. Just bring some extra pesos just to tip. Okay, so number 16, I know a lot of the restrictions is lifted for COVID in America, but out here in Mexico, you have to keep on your mask. So if you don't have your mask on, they're not gonna service you, not gonna let you go enter into a restaurant. They're not gonna do any of that, and they're gonna make you pay for a mask. So if you don't have your mask on, it's really heavily enforced out here. So you definitely have to make sure you have your mask at all times. And if you have like a cloth one, make sure you just bring some like like softer disposable ones and keep them with you, or you're gonna be paying for masks everywhere you go, like $3 for like one of those masks, so you don't want to do that. Number 16, make sure your bank knows that you're out here, because I let one of my banks know that I was out here, but the second bank, I didn't let them know that I was in Mexico, and they declined my transaction. So you definitely need to let your bank know that you're gonna be in a different country. Okay, so number 17, know that when you get off the Cancun airplane, and well, when you land in Cancun, you're gonna have a 2-hour drive from Cancun to Tulum. So you have to find a way to get there, and usually it's through shuttle. So be expecting to pay at least $300 or more round trip, especially if it's multiple people in the van. So it's about $300 to drive that far and come back. So you want to make sure that you know you have some type of transportation. That's why I said it's really good just to have a rental car, so that you can skip that whole $300 or $200 or whatever they negotiate with you. You can skip all that, get a rental car, and not have to take a taxi, not have to do all that. It's just better just to get a rental car. So know that you do have to travel from Cancun to Tulum. It's just needed for you to get here. There is no other way. You can't fly into Tulum. You have to travel by car to Tulum. So, okay, so another thing that I forgot to add before I let this video go, that around 11 o'clock, all the food places closed. I think we were out around 8 or 9, and stuff was closing early for sure. So definitely places close at 8 p.m. by Tulum, like the little Tulum district area, the downtown area. So be expecting that. So you want to kind of get your stuff early, eat early, whatever you need to do. Things close down out here early. So far that's all I have for you guys, and this has just been my experience with everything that I've been doing out here in Tulum. So this is just what I came up with. This is just my experience. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Mwah.